This is the Nissan Qashqai. You may already know, but if you don't, it's the car that single-handedly started an enormous SUV boom in the UK back in 2007. But things are very different now, and there are a lot more cars battling it for sales, like the Seat Ateca and Skoda Karoq. This is the second generation Qashqai, and it already had a facelift in 2017, but it's just had another refresh before it's replaced entirely in 2020. And these are the new changes. And remember, if you want to buy a Qashqai or any other new car, then hopefully we can save you some money in the process. So go to whatcar.com and look at the new car buying section while you're there. And to keep up to speed with the latest new car reviews, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. The latest Qashqai gets a brand new 1.3 litre petrol engine available in 2 states of tune. And that means the 1.2 litre and 1.6 litre options from before have been ditched. For the first time in a Qashqai, you can now also get a 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox. As you can see, this is a manual. And inside, there's a new infotainment system running Nissan's latest Nissan Connect technology. The infotainment system has never been the Qashqai's strong point, and right now its competition is strong in this area. This is an area where the Qashqai has been improved, although not by much. So every model apart from entry-level Vizia gets this 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system. But you can see just by scrolling through the options on the homepage, it's quite slow and laggy. And if we go into the map, you can see you wouldn't exactly call it 4K definition. And all the pinch and zoom functions are just a bit slow to respond to touches. And it's generally just nowhere near as slick, precise and reactive as a smartphone screen or a tablet. And actually, there are other infotainment systems that do feel much crisper than this. And certainly the graphics are something that really lets the side down here a bit. But it's good that you have these shortcut buttons on the side of the Qashqai screen, because lots of competitors have purely touchscreen solutions for their infotainment. And as we know, they're a bit difficult to operate on the move. So it's helpful that you've got these buttons on the side, although there are some shortcut buttons on the Qashqai screen here, and they are a bit on the small side. But another good thing with this infotainment system is that if you have this touchscreen, then you get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. And another great thing about it is that it can update its software and its maps over the air wirelessly, so you don't have to visit a dealer to update your infotainment system. Elsewhere inside, the quality is actually pretty impressive. So there are plenty of soft, dense materials, especially on the dashboard here, but you don't have to look very hard to find some cheaper stuff. There are some scratchy plastics down here on the driver's door, but the buttons all feel reasonable quality and the dials too are all okay. So overall, the quality in the Qashqai is about the same as what you get in the Ateca, but it's still the Karoq that leads the way for quality in this class, at this price point anyway. But which do you think looks best? Well, click on the banner in the top right-hand corner of your screen and let us know which interior looks best, the Qashqai, Ateca or Karoq. The front seats are comfy, although they could hold you in better through the corners, and the driving position generally is very good. There's loads of adjustment in the steering wheel and in the seat as well. But what's especially good about the seats is that adjustable lumbar support comes as standard from everything above entry-level Vizia trim. Front space is good, but be careful. If you get a panoramic sunroof like we have here, then it significantly cuts into headroom. It's still okay, but if you're especially tall, then it could be a problem. Likewise, legroom is good, but other cars offer a bit more. But where the Qashqai is good in the front is the number of storage options that you have. The door pockets are a bit on the small side, and you've got loads of different compartments to choose from. You've got a couple of cup holders here. You've got this kind of phone and wallet thing in front of the center console right here. And then just underneath the dashboard, you've got another storage compartment. But this one is a bit of a pain because it's got a 12-volt socket there. And if you're using it, it cuts into the space quite a lot. So that's not hugely practical. But what is very good is this storage compartment in the center console is absolutely massive. So you can see I can basically fit my whole arm down there, and I could probably get a leg or two in as well. It's seriously, seriously deep. And you've got another 12-volt socket, as well as a USB input and an aux input as well. The back of the Qashqai is reasonably roomy by family SUV standards, with lots of headroom, except for models with panoramic sunroofs, like the one we've got here. So it is a lot more restricted, but it's still just about manageable for an adult. And there's lots of knee and leg room as well. It's about on par with the Skoda Karoq. The seats aren't particularly clever though. They fold down, but they don't slide forwards or backwards, and they don't recline either. They fold in a 60-40 configuration rather than the more versatile 40-20-40, which some rivals get. You don't even get remote handles in the boot to lower the seat backs. Plus, the Karoq even lets you remove the rear seats completely. Now, the boot. You can see that it has more than enough room for a weekly shop or a couple of sets of golf clubs, but actually a Karoq's is much bigger. What is good about the Qashqai's is that it gets a false boot floor, and that's as standard on all trims apart from entry-level model Visia. And what that means is, in its highest setting, you can see the load lip basically doesn't exist, and a handy feature of it is you can lift up the front half, put it down so it acts as a divider, and it means that if you put all your shopping bags in the back and drive around a corner particularly quickly, it won't all go flying all over the place. And again, it gives you the added flexibility of being able to change the floor to make it even deeper, like that. But how does the Qashqai stack up financially? Well, these are the key things that you need to know about buying and owning a Nissan Qashqai. If you're buying with cash, then the Qashqai is cheaper to buy outright than the Ateca and Karoq. The Qashqai is also really cheap for companies choosing to lease, but it loses its value quite quickly, quicker than an Ateca and Karoq. In fact, the Qashqai's depreciation means it's more expensive to run over 3 years than those rivals. Reliability also isn't great for the Qashqai. In our latest reliability survey, it finished second bottom in the family SUV class.
Ascenta Premium is our recommended trim because it adds 17-inch alloy wheels, dual-zone climate control, automatic lights and wipers, and touchscreen infotainment. Entry-level Visia trim is cheap, but it misses out on lots of kit. We can certainly see why you'd be tempted by N Connector, which is the trim we've got here, and adds privacy glass, bigger wheels, and keyless entry. You get more safety kit too.
The quality of the reversing camera is particularly poor as well. It looks like I'm in a health and safety video from 1994. 6 airbags are standard, as well as a system called Emergency Brake Assist. And what that does is, if in an emergency you put the brakes on, but the car thinks you haven't put them on quite hard enough, it will put them on extremely hard for you. There are lots of other active safety aids available, but they're optional on lower trims. But what's the Qashqai like to drive? Let's cut to the chase. This 138 brake horsepower, 1.3 litre petrol engine is the best choice in the lineup. Why? Well, it's brisk enough, but actually the most impressive thing about it is how easily it builds speed from low revs. So it just gives you really flexible performance in any gear, really. It's very impressive, especially when you think of the previous 1.2 litre petrol engine, which was really gutless.
There's also a 158 brake horsepower version of the same engine. But really, the difference in pace isn't hugely noticeable in day-to-day use, so we'd still recommend the lower powered version, unless you plan on using the Qashqai to tow, or if you want the new automatic gearbox, which is smooth and impressive. This manual has quite a long throw and doesn't feel as slick as an Ateca's. High mileage drivers have a choice of 2 diesels, a 1.5 litre and a 1.7 litre, but we'd stick with the petrols. The Qashqai is also generally not quite as agile as an Ateca and Karoq, and they're both more fun to drive too. The handling of the Qashqai is safe and secure along a twisting country road, and it's easy to manage in town.
But just how comfortable the Qashqai is depends pretty much entirely on what size wheels you go for. So this is very important. If you go for the 17-inch alloys, which are the ones that we've got here, then this is one of the most comfortable cars in the class. But if you go for the bigger 18-inch alloys, which you might think look more flash and interesting, the ride starts to deteriorate and just feel quite a lot firmer. And then, if you go up for the blingest 19-inch alloys, then the ride really becomes too firm to recommend. So we would definitely steer clear from those bigger alloys, and even if they might not look quite so swish, we'd stick with the smaller ones instead. So the Nissan Qashqai might not be the champion of family SUVs that it once was, but it remains a very good proposition. On the right wheels, it's one of the most comfortable cars in the class, and the new lineup of engines impresses. If you want a family SUV, it should definitely be on your shortlist. And if you want to buy a Qashqai or any other new car, go to whatcar.com and head to the new car buying section, where you can find out how much money we can save you on your next new car. And while you're on whatcar.com, check out the full extended written review of the Nissan Qashqai and all of its key rivals. And to keep up to speed with the latest new car reviews, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you've enjoyed this video, give us a like. And if you have any questions about the Qashqai, leave a comment below.